Yeah, my name is Robert. Welcome, everybody. As David said, I'm working as a technical account manager here at InfoSim and support the sales colleagues in developing project and the marketing team in with messaging and some technical stuff in the background. Today's topic is alternate alarm handling. So we have a new tool developed, which is a web-based application, and it's called the Alarm Portal, or what you see on the desktop is the Open Alarms dashboard here. And that is a specific customer development. It's a web-based application. It's used for organizing, sorting, filtering, and all sorts of things with alarms. And it offers a different workflow process than we would have traditionally with StableNet in the rich client. And it was built to cover a proven customer process that was specifically on a custom development on a customer's desire, because they wanted to work with this specific process. And I'm going to introduce in this webinar what the process is and how this can work. But for the beginning, I'm going to produce an error, which we then scope in the alarm portal, and just show you how this can be dealt with. So we have our virtualized lab here. That's comprised of a Juniper and a Cisco infrastructure. All elements which are marked here with V2 are the Juniper elements, and they can be visualized here. And what I'm going to do is I produce an error on this link. So it's the Gigabit Ethernet 000 link of this Juniper device. Let's switch that off. Juniper device, Virtual Lab 2, core router number 2, and then later on we discover this alarm in the alarm portal and figure out what to do with it. For this, we have a configuration job which I'm going to run. I start that job, and that job will take that Gigabit Ethernet interface 000 down for 10 minutes on this router, Virtual Lab 2, core router number 2, which is a virtualized Juniper MX device. So I run this job and close it here and continue with the alarm portal to give you an idea how that's supposed to work. So to do that, I create a new profile, which we call test, and I assign it to the administrators group of StableNet, and I also assign it to the tenant level group, and I give it a short description, which is test profile. And basically create a new one. What you see here now on the screen is the default dashboard. The default dashboard has a donut chart in the middle, and we see 172 alarms in total, which are 22 major alarms, 139 minor alarms, 1 marginal, and 10 informational. So this is the donut chart, which gives you an overview how that looks like. You can also switch to a sunburst chart where you see the same information depicted in angles. I personally like this chart more because it gives you a clearer picture, at least for me. Now, the workflow process in the alarm portal is you basically create a new container. I create a container called Cisco for our Cisco devices, and I give it description, Cisco devices. I leave the cleanup time here away and have now a new container. And I do the same thing for Juniper devices. I call that Virtual 2 Lab Juniper. And here I give it a cleanup time and a retain time for 1 minute. You will see later why for what purpose this can be used. So I create this one. And finally, I create another one, which is called informational. Oh, that's what was not good. And now I have 3 containers created to work with. In these containers, the workflow is such that you can now go into the main table, which is the open alarms table here. And in this open alarms table, you can now filter, for instance, for Cisco devices or any other criteria. And then it shows me all alarms for which have Cisco devices in the name. So I select these alarms, and then I can drag and drop these alarms into the container. So important to remove the filter again, see the remaining alarms. And now you can see the default container has deducted 3 open alarms which are now sorted manually into the Cisco container. So you can then modify the container and see the description of the container. And then when you click into the container, you see again the same picture like in the default container, which is always there. You have 3 major alarm, 3 total alarms, 2 are major and 1 is minor, and you can switch to this between Sunburst and Donut Chart. So that's basically how this works. You can go there and sort these alarms manually into the respective container, filter them out, and then you can actually build a workflow around this concept in your organization, that you can say, okay, I have all alarms from Cisco in the Cisco container, all alarms from Juniper in the Juniper container, all information alarms, which I'm not so interested in. So we can filter here for informational, select those, and then put them away put them away into the informational container, and thus reduce the open alarms table here. Again, reduces the count here in the open alarms default container, and then work in this containerized structure with manual assignments. And then people who are Cisco experts can then look at only the Cisco related alarms. Others can look only at the Juniper related alarms, and so forth. Another option in this portal is, if you don't want to see the subtending alarms, then you can remove the symptoms here. And for the configuration, you have you can actually sort you can actually activate the individual columns that you want to see in the main table. So here the comments are now gone, the description is gone, and so forth. So you can activate that. Another smart functionality here is a filter on the main table. So if you only want to see major alarms, so you would only see the major ones, or in addition, the minor ones that are now in here. And the same thing you can do here. You can filter the major and the minor alarms here as well. So basically, that is the functionality of the alarm portal. I now switch back to my original. And here you already see it, the job taking that interface down has created an error here on this core router. And we also have a problem here on the adjacent router, because the ISIS protocol has detected a neighborship problem, and it gives you an alarm with a minor severity. If you look at this in the measurement tree, then you see actually the core router number 2 and the core router number 1 who have the problem. And I can filter this out now here in the alarms window. in StableNet. And now we only see the major alarm and the minor alarm here, and with the symptom here. And we see this in the typical alarm dashboard with all the open alarms, the pie chart and the donut chart, where we have the overview. And the same is here in this window, in this alarm portal. And I can now go here and filter for the same problem. And actually now here you see I have this major alarm from my Juniper device on gigabit Ethernet number 000. And it shows me that this is down, and it gives me the alarm impact that there's an issue with the reachability. So, and what I can do now is basically I take these alarms, which are belonging together to this problem with Juniper, and then I put them into the Juniper container. And here you see I have a total of 4 alarms. I have 2 major alarms and 2 minor alarms, and the same picture here in the donut and the sunburst chart. But I think it's not as powerful as the donut chart here. And with that, I remove the filter to see the remaining alarms again. And what now happens over time, because that script is taking the interface up again in a few minutes, what then happens is that we will see this node recovering and this node recovering. And what happens next in this container is that these alarms start to go away, whilst we have this configuration with the retaining time. And what that now does is when these alarms go away in this window or in this donut chart, then the monitors are kept in here for tracking purposes. So then you will see over time that the monitors, as the network recovers, the monitors become green, and but they would not disappear. And if I would not have the cleanup and the retaining time, so the monitors would always stay here for tracking purposes. And with the retaining time, the monitors will be cleaned up after 1 minute. So in a practical network, you would usually take a much longer retaining time, about 1 hour or 2 hours, or even longer, so that you can keep track what the monitor status was and what the history of the whole thing was, even if the alarms have already disappeared and the thing has been cleaned up. This is used for, let's say, if there's some alarms that reoccur and there's a flapping situation, then you can track the monitors and the timing that is behind that. So that is basically it. The script has executed. And now we already start to see in the alarm window that the monitors are becoming green again. So the network is recovering and the alarms are still there. So this takes a few minutes. Get the actual status. And here now you see that the network is recovering. This node is in a probing phase. This node is in a probing phase. Everything goes back to normal. You also see it on the measurement that the nodes are probing and going back, and these alarms will quite quickly disappear here. And also these alarms will in 1 or 2 minutes disappear here, and the monitors will stay, and after 1 more minute of the retaining time, those will clean up as well. So it's not a big thing, but it is a way of working. It's an alternate way of alarm handling. And our customers find that useful because some customers want to work that way. and that is why we build it for them. And basically, this is the short demo I want to give. I'm already 15 minutes, so I'm open to questions. Thank you for watching.